to be your moderator today. Throughout our presentation, we encourage you to interact with us by typing in questions and comments using the questions pane. We will be answering questions at the end of the presentation. This webinar is being recorded for your convenience, and you will receive via an email the link to the recording. Please take note of our upcoming events. You can, check us out on the YouTube, and we have live lab learning for all of our divisions. This is live web-based training and interaction with your instructors, so it's very beneficial. Today we have Lisa Baker, our presenter, and she has over 15 years plus of Autodesk knowledge, and I will turn it over to her. Ms. Baker?
Good afternoon, everybody. I appreciate you taking the time to join us today for this webinar. I hope this session will be helpful to you in navigating the Autodesk Account website, cleaning up issues and questions you have about maintenance subscription, and enable you to understand your subscription benefits better. I would like to say that despite my years of experience as an Autodesk reseller, I have never considered myself an expert. I experience some of the same frustrations and technical difficulties that you do. But I also hope that you will look to us as a resource and guide so that we can work together for a satisfactory experience within the subscription program. If you are following a lot of these procedures we discussed today correctly and are still experiencing error messages or failures, we may need to address them separately. Again, please feel free to ask questions throughout this session by typing them in the question field so we can address them as the subjects arise. So before we go into the Autodesk Account website live, I would like to provide a few tools and definitions that are essential for you to understand your subscription benefits. At the top of this page, you will see Autodesk Knowledge Network with a link, which is just simply knowledge.autodesk.com. This is a public website that is very helpful. I use it almost every day in my work. It is useful for resellers and customers. It has tutorials, it has white papers, it has blogs and forums, and you can query on just about anything you want to know about Autodesk. In fact, many of the links that I will click on in the Autodesk account today will kick us over to the Autodesk Knowledge Network. So that's just a good tool to have and a good website to bookmark. Below that, you will see the Autodesk Global Helpline. This is a very helpful tool for authorizing and registering your software. This is not published anywhere that I really am aware of. We just know this phone line from being a reseller, so make sure you write down that phone number for registration and activation. It's not typically for regular tech support, but it is helpful when dealing with your Autodesk account. If you have problems or errors, you can call us, but you can also call Autodesk directly on this global helpline. And you can also call in to get any of your activation codes or your license files. So keep that number handy. There are a couple of administrative roles in Autodesk Account. There is Contract Manager and Software Coordinator. The Contract Manager is the main point of contact between Autodesk and the customer. You will receive the initial welcome kit. You will receive emails as orders process. If you first set up a contract or when you add additional licenses, you will get the initial emails. You will also get renewal notifications. As Contract Manager, you have power to identify or appoint software coordinators and other users. It is imperative for everyone that everyone is able to receive emails from Autodesk. So anybody who needs access to Autodesk Account needs to make sure they whitelist the autodesk.com domain. I have had a lot of customers that have trouble getting their initial login set up and being able to access downloads simply because they have not been able to receive the emails from Autodesk. So that is essential. The software coordinator can be the same person as the contract manager, or it can be somebody different. They will receive notifications when a new release is available. If Autodesk releases what they call extensions, which is extra features or benefits on your subscription licenses or any upgrades. Software coordinators also have the privilege to appoint users. And finally, the last person or role on a subscription contract is a user. And this is simply any person that the contract manager or software coordinator invites so that they can access downloads or technical support. The user will not see nearly as much information as one of the administrative roles, and we will look at that very specifically here in just a couple of minutes. So, it's time to get started. The website for the Autodesk account is accounts.autodesk.com. And this is what you will see when you log into that site. Contract managers will receive an email from Autodesk, and the ID or email address is usually your main work address. You will receive an email with a temporary password so you can get into the site, and then you will be prompted to reset your password. If you don't receive that email, or if you just received it, deleted it, didn't know what it was, you can click here where it says Create an Account, and that will also generate your automatic email with your temporary password. There's a link here also, Need Sign-In Help. That will most likely kick you over to the Autodesk Knowledge Network where it has a tutorial on logins. So this is the starting page. So let's go live into Autodesk Accounts so I can show you some things and how to navigate. This is my own reseller dummy account, Autodesk account. It does have products and services in it so you can see. I am the contract manager, although it is not showing me what I need to see. So bear with me while I log in with the correct credentials. Unfortunately, I have two accounts. One I'm a user and one I am a contract manager. Sorry for the delay. Okay. When you are a contract manager, you will see all of these icons on the left-hand side. Because I did not see all those icons, I knew I was simply logged in as a user and not as an administrator. In just a moment, the products and services will load here in the middle of the page. Once this does load, it is not so slow to update. Okay. We are at the top icon that says Products and Services, and it is showing all products and all services. And you can break this down separately into just products or just services. When I talk about products and services, products are obviously your software licenses. Services are what they're referring to as cloud-based services. Depending on what products you own, you have different accesses to different services that use your cloud credits. And we will go into cloud credits in detail in just a few minutes. First, I want to show you some of the differences as contract manager or software coordinator that you see on this page. As I said, you have all these icons over here. As a user, you just have these downloads and products and services. Also, as a contract manager, you have access to serial numbers and product keys. Autodesk does not provide serial numbers and product keys to all users. This is for security reasons. So the contract manager is going to have to be a person that's going to be responsible for providing the correct information to their users for downloads. If we go down here to plain AutoCAD as an example, a contract manager will see an arrow that says More Actions. By clicking on that, we have several options here that will probably be of interest to you. The first one is Get Previous Versions. Subscription customers are allowed to run up to 3 previous versions, even if they have not owned that previous version. So say, for example, I purchased AutoCAD 2016, but I need AutoCAD 2014 to be compliant with some of my other clients. This is the screen where you would request a 2014 serial number. This is generated automatically, and you would get an email notification from Autodesk with a 2014 serial number that you could then use. Get Home Use License. Autodesk also allows for subscription customers to use work licenses or company licenses on home computers. This link is only used if you need to use a network license at home. If you need to use a standalone license at home, you simply download it and go through the prompts to get your activation code. For a network license for home use, so that you do not pull a network license from the work pool, you click on this link and follow the fields to fill it out, and it gives you a separate network serial number so that you can use a network license at home without pulling one away from the company pool. Many of you prefer to get physical copies, and I'm sure that not all of you realize Autodesk no longer ships media with every purchase or with every version. The default is now download. You can request media. For smaller products such as AutoCAD, AutoCAD LT, AutoCAD Mechanical, Electrical, they still come on DVD. For the larger suites, such as Product Design Suite and Building Design Suite, they come on a thumb drive. There is a cost of $30 per set of media, regardless of what kind of media it is. When you click on Get a Physical Copy, it will take you to the Autodesk store. It will auto-generate what serial number you're requesting. You are only allowed to request, I believe, 1 copy at a time. But it takes you to the page where you just fill out the information like a regular, any kind of online order. You can even choose your shipping. You can choose expedited shipping if you want to pay extra for it and get it quickly. And you just fill and make sure you have all the correct shipping information filled in there, and then enter your credit card information when prompted, and you will get media shipped to you. Again, these actions are only going to be seen if you are a contract manager or software coordinator. Now, if I expand under AutoCAD, this is more information that your users will not see. They will be able to see any versions you have here. If I had bought this as 2014 and we are now up to 2016, you would see serial numbers for all of those versions. Again, right here is Get Serial Number. That's another way to click on a link and get a serial number for a previous version if you require it. Also, here is the product key. As an administrator, you may be responsible for providing this information for your users. When they click on this screen or expand it, they simply, right here, they simply see your contract administrator for information. If you want to know your contract number or contract information, you can go to this icon that looks like a piece of paper with a pen, and that will show you your contract. Many companies have multiple contracts. Any contract that you are a contract manager for will be listed here. Excuse me. It shows you the contract number and how many products are on there. If you hover over there, it'll show you at least the type of products, if not the quantity. But again, you see your list of products when you go to Products and Services. So this tab is not available for any other user. It just simply won't be there to see that information. When you click here on Reporting, you are going to see Cloud Services Usage. We're going to go into Cloud Credits in more detail in just a moment, but let me show you first how to invite users. So you've got your login set up, you've got your software coordinator assigned, and you now are ready to assign users. You can also manage software coordinators right here. So if you do not distinguish somebody else as a software coordinator, it will default for the same person to be manager and coordinator. And here is one place that you can assign somebody else to be the software coordinator. As you will see here, we have two users. I'm the main contract manager, and yesterday I invited my coworker Charlotte to this site so we could go through the process together. It takes a while when you invite users for them to get their initial email from Autodesk, up to 24 hours, maybe even a little longer. So this is not an instantaneous process. Her invitation is still pending. And once she gets that email from Autodesk, she can go in and set her account. To invite a user, you simply go to the top and hit the Add button and fill in the required information, email, first name, and last name. If you click this have this little box clicked that says I'd like to add accesses to the user now, hit Save and Continue. It will add that person with their email address, and it will also pop up a window that will give you can assign that user to have access to all products or just certain products. So if you have a draftsman who's just using AutoCAD, you can assign AutoCAD only to that person, or you can let them have access to any of the products. Under those individual products, there are different services that you can let them have all access to or just some access to. You may not want somebody in there using up your cloud units by playing around in the rendering field. If you have somebody doing that, chewing up cloud credits, you can go in and access or change their accesses so that they can no longer use the rendering. I'm not going to add anybody else at this point because I don't want to complicate things. Once you have users in there, and say that person stops working for the company, or for whatever reason you need to change their accesses or delete them, you hit the Edit Access button, and you will get a window in which you can edit, assign the products and services. All right, so now that we have our users there, we can go back to the Reporting tab. This is the General tab, and this is the By Users. As you can see, we haven't used any of our cloud credits, so we've used 0 out of 100. Now, before we go any further in Autodesk Account, let's have a little discussion about cloud credits because I think that is still rather confusing to customers. First of all, what is a cloud credit? A cloud credit is a unit of measurement required to perform certain tasks, such as creating a rendering or running a simulation in a cloud environment using Autodesk Cloud Services. And the cloud services are different depending on the product. When we go back to Autodesk Account, I will show you where those services are listed depending on what products you own. How do I get cloud credits? And this is a little bit different than it used to be. Originally, when Autodesk introduced cloud credits, you got a certain number of shared cloud credits per contract. That is no longer the case. Autodesk no longer offers free shared cloud units or contract cloud units. They can be purchased from a reseller, from the Autodesk store, or through Autodesk Account. I will show you how to purchase them through Autodesk Account in a few minutes because it is the most instantaneous and seamless way to get them. We can order them for you as a reseller. The price is $100 for 100 cloud credits. That's the smallest denomination you can purchase. But when you order through us, it does take 24 to 48 hours, whereas if you do it through Autodesk Account, it is instantaneous. So that's what we recommend. When you invite a new user to a subscription contract, they are given starter credits, 100 starter cloud credits. It's a one-time use. It can't be shared. It can't be transferred. It can't be renewed. If the contract expires, the cloud credits are gone. So that is the difference between shared cloud credits and starter cloud credits. And please note, starter cloud credits are allocated one time in the lifetime of an end user account. So if you have 3 contracts and you invite a user to all 3 contracts, he doesn't get 300 cloud credits or 100 per contract. It's just one set of 100 cloud credits. Again, once they're gone, once they're used up, or if the contract expires, they are gone. At that point, go back to the point where you purchase shared cloud credits that are attached to the contract, and any user who is allowed to use those services can access the shared cloud credits. What services do I have access to with my maintenance subscription? There are several services such as Buzzsaw, Energy Analysis, Green Building Studio, Fusion 360. These services will be listed on your contract, which I will show you, depending on what products you own. Also down here is a link that takes you to the page where I got these different services, because if you click on these in the link, it will tell you more detail about what each of these services do. And I'll be glad to share this FAQ with anybody after the presentation. How are cloud credits used per service? This often comes up. When I render something, what does it use? How do I know? Again, the reporting tool, the contract manager can tell you how many you have left. All cloud credits are valued at 1. Usage rate is determined by Autodesk and varies by service. Cloud credit usage may vary based on such elements as quality and size. Autodesk may also change usage rates for cloud credits and product allocations from time to time. For an example, if you do a rendering, it just depends on the quality and size of the render that you're doing as to how many cloud credits it's used. And that again will be on your reporting tab. Structural analysis for Revit has a flat rate of 2 cloud credits per analysis. Inventor optimization has 5 cloud credits per optimization. That is just an example to show you that depending on what you're doing, it's going to use your cloud credits at a different rate. How and when do my cloud credits expire? Purchased cloud credits have a 12-month life before they expire as long as the contract remains active. And this is crucial. If you purchase cloud credits and you're 6 months into your contract, your cloud credits will still have a 12-month lifespan, but you've got to make sure your contract is active. Cloud credits expire if a contract becomes inactive or is renewed late. So even though there is a small grace period for you to renew your contract, if it expires, once you are past that expiration date, all your benefits cease. So if you were to need to get a previous serial number, if you were to need to access your cloud credits or cloud services, none of that can be done while the contract is expired. So it is crucial to pay attention to the emails that we send and that Autodesk sends so you can maintain your contract and your contract benefits. So that is a little bit about cloud credits. I'm sure there will be more questions about that at the end, and please feel free to ask those. If it's something you know, I will be glad to research them at Autodesk with you. As you will see here, individual usage is 0 because we haven't, this is just a dummy account and we don't use any cloud credits. Right here is something that's different because this is a reseller account. We have 17,500 shared cloud credits. I didn't purchase any of those. Those are given to us by Autodesk for a reseller contract for the purposes of demos and training. So if you do not purchase any cloud credits, you will see nothing here. It will just say no shared credits available. Here is your handy dandy button to get cloud credits. I'll click on this. So see, it shoots you over to the Autodesk store. And I believe it will auto-populate everything in there for you. See, here's the contract number. Quantity of 1. 1 means one bundle of 100. I'm obviously not going to go further into this because I don't want to really order cloud credits, but you just fill in your information just like any other online order. Here's the place for your credit card information. Just go through this process, and again, these should be in. So within just a couple minutes, you should see the cloud credits. So if you have a user that's right in the middle of a project and needs to do some simulation, all of a sudden you have no cloud credits, this is where you go to get them quickly. So I'm going to close that window. Again, this took you over to the Autodesk store. And then we're back here to the cloud credit usage. A couple of other things I want to show you about help, Quicklinks, and support. Up here is your support down button. Browse Support and Learning will take you over again to the Autodesk Knowledge Network. It will give you some options of some popular tutorials, some frequently asked questions, forums, and that type of thing. And you can also query. You can also view support cases that you enter here. This is where you enter support cases and where you view open support cases. I can't access that on my reseller website because we have another venue to enter support. So that function doesn't work properly on this particular contract. Contact Us also takes you over to a place where you can input information, and I believe there's a live chat. I have used the chat a couple of times, and it has been helpful. So that is your support button. Down here is the Quicklinks. This is available to everybody who logs on to the Autodesk account. When I click on What's New in Account, it's going to take me over to the Knowledge Network. And this is a very helpful page because it shows you how to manage your users, and you get even, screenshots and step-by-step instructions. So let's just click on one of these for an example. Say, requested box software in Autodesk account. I need media. My internet is slow. I cannot get this to download. I need media. Again, has to be a manager or a coordinator in order to go in here. You click on the Management tab. You click on your More Actions button, as I showed you, and get physical copy. And then it will take you through the prompts. It'll take you back over to the Autodesk store, and it will auto-populate a lot of your information. I don't know if you can see that print is awfully small, but it auto-populates your shipping address from your contract. If that's wrong or inaccurate, you can change your shipping information. Then you can go to checkout and even pick if you want expedited media. So all the things we have discussed today, or a lot of them, are on this particular page in the Knowledge Network with tutorials. Some of them even have video tutorials, which are very helpful as well. So anybody can use that. It's just that not all the accesses are available to every type of user. Feedback, I have never gone to give feedback, but if you are particularly happy or particularly frustrated with Autodesk, here's your chance to give feedback. And I won't go through that entire process, but it is available. So that is about all that I was going to show you particularly today about navigating this site. But I would be glad to address any questions you have at this point. Marcia, have you seen any questions?
Yes, thank you, Lisa, very much. It was very helpful. No, we have not had any questions come through. Evidently, we had a gripping attendance of the attention of the attendees. So that's good, too. So this is your last chance to put in a question. But I'm Marcia Tucker. My information, if you need to call, is 404-564-1870. And we thank you for your attendance. And go ahead.
I was just going to say, if you'd like a copy of that Cloud Credit FAQ, I have not found a concise document like that online yet, so I created that. So if you'd like a copy of that FAQ, just feel free to contact us. You can contact either Marcia or I just at marcia@asti.com, marcia@asti.com, or lisa@asti.com. We'll get you through to us. So if you'd like a copy of that FAQ about cloud credits, I'll be glad to share that.
And by the way, before you depart, if you haven't already, please search our Live Lab Learning on Facebook and like our page to receive the latest information and the special offers that we periodically put out. And when you visit our website, livelablearning.com, there is a complete schedule of upcoming training and future informational webinars / tidbits and software updates. So thank you for joining us today, and we hope you found this webinar informative and a help to your business. We look forward to you joining our next webinar. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.